this is how the tool looks like. And the URL stands as securitycopilot.microsoft.com. And obviously the URL is open once you have a Microsoft ID, but fundamentally you have to create a capacity in Azure. So let me also try to show you how that looks like. So this is what it's gonna look like here, right? As a capacity, you can create it. And let me try to quickly run you through a few more things there. Once you create a capacity, right? Once you create a capacity, you're gonna see something like this where it asks you to configure the rest of the things. And once you configure, this comes to this kind of screen, and it's going to set up your tenant. And it also tells you based on your location selected where the data will be stored. And obviously, remember that all Microsoft seeks help for improvement. So every prompt response you get, there is a really good option to give feedback. And that's how your particular security copilot model is going to get tuned, right? And gets better and better over time. And then the very important piece of it, like Copilot access, you can give contributor to everyone and owner to global administrator and security administrator, right? And you can obviously go to Microsoft Docs for more specific details around access. Then once it is all set, I'm gonna go back and welcome to security Copilot over there, right? So with that said, let me just move it away and then come back to the screen. So once you have security copilot logged in, it's gonna give you certain things, as you say, continue your last session, because the last session I did just before the demo, I just ran a script to analyze the script, right? And yesterday I was just doing some plugin stuff, as I say, right? If there are some data sources which you want to enrich your copilot with, and you don't think that that's here exactly available within your environment organization, you can do a plugin, and plugin can be also a kind of enhancer for your Copilot environments. Now, if you scroll down all the way to the bottom, it says start a new session and submit the form, right? So you can start typing your prompt here, right? So let me try to get, could you please sell with this, something like that. Let me just try it. And obviously I need to hit enter or press the button. And as you see, it's gonna load, right? And it's gonna go see what it's doing. It's going to check the plugins you're using. So is there a plugin I have? And if it finds that I have a relevant file, plugin to check this IP address, it's gonna go there and kind of do the evaluation. And it shows Microsoft Defender for threat intel, right? And it basically gives the DNS resolution and things like that. Uh, and that's how it goes on, right? So just to save time, I'm gonna keep it here, and then I'm gonna open a new tab again to look at my existing ones, right? So again, let's say whenever you are kind of doing your security copilot or coming into and using a security copilot, what you could also do is look at your previous session. So how do you do it? In the left navigation, we just expand this, and I'm going to say my sessions, right? In my sessions, it's going to show you any sessions you have. It doesn't mean that you have to actually keep it saved. It's automatically saved. So as I was talking about the script analyzer, right? Let me try to open that. And once I open, right, you can actually see uh, what exactly it looks like, and what is the prompt I give. So if I say what I did, the following script is, that's what it says, script analyzer. And this is also a prompt book as well. So it says 3 steps completed. It shows a generic one, process a request, and here it goes. It tells you it was just a one-line script which I asked it to analyze, but it has really gone into details, right? And shown me what other things can be done and what is the outcome of that, right? And gonna show me list. So basically, as I said, it is a prompt book, right? So I'm going to show you an example of prompt book shortly, but fundamentally, if you look at when I ask for a
Samik,
script,
sorry to interrupt you. We have
yeah,
only 10 minutes left.
thank you. Thank you for that. Sure. So coming back to this point here, right? Uh, so this as is a prompt book, right? And prompt book is basically a bunch of prompt flow or bunch of prompts tied to each other, and the each next prompt is dependent on the previous prompt response. So first it is going to read the script, and then it's also going to kind of show you the process refutation of the IP and host name if it is found, and things like that. And if you look at after each response, right, it says that how is the response. That means this is the place where Microsoft seeks that we give feedback that if I click on that, looks right, needs improvement, inappropriate. Depending on these response, actually my particular this instance will get tuned, and accordingly it will start working more and more, right? You can download that, and you can, if you're building any separate report, you can always copy the response and things like that, and the list goes further. So that's how you can see here, right? And fundamentally, if you look at this, as really given much more details around the script, and at the end of the day it is giving me executive report as well. So think and think about that, only by giving a script how much it can do, and how much enrichment it can do as a user. And now as an analyst, if I do this manually, it's gonna obviously take hours, and then there's no way that I can get this crisp report really shortly, right? Now this is one of the existing prompt I have shown. Let me also show you a single prompt over here, which is not exactly a prompt book but just a prompt. So I'll go to my sessions again, and I've just got a plugin, right? So click on that, and that plugin is basically going and doing all the search for GCP IP address. Internally, that's the KQL query, nothing much. So first prompt, what I wrote is, please provide me a GCP IP list. It went to the plugin. It basically listed all the possible IP ranges, and then it asked for a response. Then my next prompt was, could you please confirm if this IP address is a part of this IP ranges? So you see, in IP ranges, I did not mention this particular IP. Rather, I did IP ranges. So internally, it did IP lookup and then kind of showed me which subnet it is falling to. For example, this is a place. So this is where you see, right? And it says it falls within this, and obviously the allocated region is this region, because that was a part of the JSON file which I was used as a part of plugin or KQL query. Um, and then could you please confirm that this address is correct, and also the IP reputation score. Now, if you look at this as I'm talking about context, right? So it gives you an IP address, the same response, almost similar, that fundamentally what happens is it gives you detail around the IP address, and then tells you where the IP address is from my plugin. And then it went over the internet, because I have the internet plugin, or let's say any other plugin, for example, as it said, it's came from MDTI as a reference. It gave me the reputation score as well. So it can work on complex query. It is not like you need to write each command separately. You can write your entire prompt in an efficient way, and then it can give you the response, right? Now this is how you basically show it. And before I go to my prompt I ran, let me also show you, there is a little star icon here when I say the prompt. And if you click on that, you see there are like, it shows me a couple of other things, the prompt books and things like that. And if I go to see all prompt books here, and let me try to open the same script, suspicious script analysis, which I ran this morning. If I click on that, if you observe, this is nothing but a list of prompts which is pre-built for you by Microsoft. And we just paste our script here. It's going to run this first prompt then with the snippet, right? Then it's going to find out if that has any IP address or host name. And then it's going to go to the threat intel library and then do a lookup for that. Then extract all the all the indicators, and then can be used in detection query. Based on the action, it goes another prompt, do some recommendation, right? If you found that in some of user machine on use it, as an incident, what is a recommendation? And at the end, you can look at the summary, how it is being summarized, which you just saw the result in. And also you can add a prompt, like these are pre-built, but if you want to have another prompt added, you can do that too. That's where your response will be really crisp, and all your incident can be sorted, which might take hours. It will be just done in minutes. Right now, let's close it for now. And there's another thing I'm talking to talk about. There's another log which is called sources. So in the sources, as I was talking about, Security Copilot doesn't work alone. It works together, and it basically kind of helps you set up other things. Let's say there are a lot of plugins, as you see, by default available, right? We can turn it off. We can turn it off if you want to, right? And apart from that, there are some others as well which is being developed, as you see. And there is something from ServiceNow. If you have ServiceNow, all you need to do is just set up and things like that. And then you can do URL scan. It can also go and do a public web search. If you don't want it to be used, you can just disable and block it. And then you can have your own plugins, which is basically going to help you on your Security Copilot journey. Like, let's say your organization uses some XYZ tool to do an IP analysis, that can be extracted as a plugin. So just in a few seconds, I'm going to show you the plugin. This is basically a plugin I've used for listing all the GCP address, and it is nothing but a KQL query. And then the way I did it after writing this, it is kind of go to plugins. And if you try to upload one, that's how it should be. And click on custom Copilot security plugin, and you upload the YAML file, right? And obviously you also get to decide when you do it a plugin for just me basically for testing, and any other organization, it's kind of you are making it public.